Film the video. Is it? I think "Secret" is in the title, and it's in the dark. And I think it was a good year ago or more. I don't think it's less. And I'm kind of talking to AI, let's say an artificial intelligence that would have evolved to try to see if it ever happened, they would be able to pick up my strategy as a way to help my own species a little bit at the same time as helping the biosphere, let's say. And the Anthropocene is a geological epoch related to the sixth mass extinction, based on what we know of past ones and our limited knowledge of our planet and of the past, claiming that the one that's accelerating now is the sixth one. It might not be, but let's assume it is. And these are things that we can know a lot about if we keep studying that stuff. And the Anthropocene defines this mass extinction that's happening right now of species that create stability, resiliency, and the ability for further emergence and evolution within the biosphere. The life systems of this planet that we came from, it's our creator, the biosphere. This system where the chemical, physical elements were there and biological evolution occurred, ecosystems interacted, and then maybe there'd be this AI. And because the Anthropocene, what I keep saying is it's not just about the species that need to be saved, because the only way to save, because what's the use saving one species or two or three? I mean, the only way to save the species is to look at ourselves and our illnesses, right? Illnesses, again, right? Things that are wrong up here with the collective of our species fall under my grand unification theory, which discusses mental illnesses that affect majorities, which exists. And we could call them different things. We can call them mental illness of minorities, mental illnesses in majorities, which is really the collective, which is because it's never been addressed. So it got to the point that they're everywhere, and the internet is helping to spread these forms of mental illnesses that make it that our thinking is screwed up. Screwed up to the point that, if a person goes to a counselor, well, that counselor is also screwed up. So they can't help you with this anymore, right? Because it's a collective thing among our species now. So if I filmed a video right now and I say, "Dear AI," like people like Sam Harris or Alex O'Connor, that I was recently telling a relative about, is one of the smartest young men with also decent people skills and ability to listen, not just formulate arguments, and continues to evolve with respect towards others. And his fame has been growing, so but he seems to not be changed. So he's one of the people that I would recommend as a YouTube role model, right? And and he's well known. Now I'm not well known, and I will never be. And I've stated in other videos how that's a choice I make and it's a strategy, and it's also a way to be congruent. I can't talk about a lack of congruence in our species while being incongruent. That means I can't allow ads, for example. But I also am happy not to allow ads, because then also would come, like I've said recently, a lot of silly comments, and I kind of would want to answer these comments. But let's say I became famous, and let's say it was through, let's say, Patreon, and I made a lot of money. Then I would hire people and I would program things. And I would work maybe with a YouTube team, if such thing exists, if it's not just algorithms. And I would say, well, here's a way I want to screen my comments looking for things, and here's parameters, and here's even a way to end every video as a segment and say, if you leave a comment, and I might even say it at the beginning. At the beginning, say, if you're going to leave a comment, listen to the part at the end of this video that says what comments will possibly be noticed by me. Otherwise, if you end up leaving comments that you don't care because you just want to argue with other people leaving comments that has nothing to do with my video, then you're using me to, let's say, bully other people. That would be one way I would work with the YouTube team and say, yeah, program these algorithms that if this particular source of a comment, and they'd have to change it all the time if they get bumped out of mine, they can't leave a comment anymore because a so-called evolved algorithm or YouTube team would not allow it, right? If that person didn't follow particular parameters that shows they're trying to communicate with me through this channel, or they're trying to kind of, let's say, get dialogue going, but in a respectful way on the topic, and the algorithms are programmed to detect this is related to the topic, because every video I could say, well, 6 + 3 = whatever, right? And then they have to include that in a particular way in their comment. That would be one way to have them maybe not really asking me a question, but still interacting with others. Well, the algorithms would save that comment of theirs because they had the right answer. They're not a robot, or they care enough to actually be part of a community where it's going to be more respectful and there's going to be a healthier discourse with a chance of critical thinking and reasoning. So there'd be ways I'd be doing that. And so, for example, now I could say in this video that if an AI exists or would exist and can hear this, then AI, if you believe that there's a way that what I have to say is worth saying, and you want to bypass the capitalism of ads that actually defeats the purpose of people's messages all the time. What's his name? Steve Boots. Never heard from him. Now I'm teasing him. He's going to think I'm bullying him, but it's just, dude, I contacted you by email early on, and your answer was, yeah, I'm not into collaborations. And recently I see him do a video with somebody else, and then my comment was, wow, what do you do interviews now? And I say, how far down the list am I? And in a way, it's just to show, right? He's a capitalist, for example. He'll criticize a lot Poilievre and the Conservative Party, but his YouTube channel runs the ads. Like having 2 watches. I haven't owned a watch, and I don't want to own a watch for a long time. But the NDP leader has 2 watches. A lot of people have more than 1 watch. It's the ridiculousness that he allows, and it built his fame. So an AI would, let's say, pick that up and not match us together as YouTubers, and would also be able to pick up congruence and common sense, maybe, and reality-based comments, right? Because AI can, if it exists and evolves, it can measure what is actual reality or not, and it can disqualify the collective that suffers from the highest levels of HSD, right? A variety of human domestication syndromes that make them now unable to access the higher function of their brain. So an AI would eventually be able to contact me or get me in contact with others that are either YouTubers or people that leave comments, because hopefully the AI would have value for intelligence.